Hello, my friends. This is Linda. I am going to show you today a set that is retiring in just over a week. It is called the Basket of Bloom set. It's got some very cool containers, a nice vase, nice clay pot, nice basket, and these two flowers right here happen to coordinate with the Small Blooms Punch, which unfortunately is also retiring, which is too bad because this one just came out not too long ago. So I kind of wish this had been sticking around so I could show you some more stuff with it. But I'll show you a couple of things that I've done with it, at least for today. And hopefully you'll like it. So I have Highland Heather out here today, but this is the card that we're going to be making, which is using Poppy Parade. So we're going to do a Highland Heather version of it because why not? We're going to have our card base is going to be the 5.5 by 8.5. And I'm going to have to do some cards coming up here that use a different folding the long way because I've been doing this quite a bit lately. So our Highland Heather base, we have a 5.25 by 4 inch piece of white cardstock, which will go on here. I have used the rectangle stitched framelits dies, which are not retiring, thank goodness, because we're going to need some dies for shapes. And I use one of the shapes on here and cut this out in white, and then I have two pieces, 2 3/4 by 4 1/8, which one of them will be our base for this one as well. So let's get started with our stamping. I'm going to show you a little bit of masking today as well. So I'm going to get out my masks, and what I did was I took two of the leaves and I stamped them out onto, I used the Memento black ink, and I used this image right here, and this image right here, and I stamped them out onto just regular printer paper. Just regular printer paper that you use through your printer because it's nice and thin. And when you want to make a mask, you want to make sure that you use a thin piece of paper. Don't use cardstock because then you'll get lines on it. So I have these two masks right here. And I'm going to use the Memento ink. And I'm going to stamp. I'm going to want this design in the foreground. So sorry about that. Spam call from Connecticut. Get a lot of those. So I'm gonna center it up near the top and pretty centered. And I'm just rocking that, so let's see if it comes out. Pretty good. Pretty good there. So we have that one. Then we're going to take our mask, and I'm going to just lay it there and trust that it's not going to move. Just going to have a little faith, I guess. Then I'm going to ink up my bigger leaf. And I'm going to go right over it. So let's see if I move that out of the way here. And kind of line up my bases because I know that it's going to go into the vase. And hopefully that didn't move too much. Nope, I think it's going to be okay. We're going to use this again. And we're going to take our other mask here. Just like so, because I want to put one on the other side as well. So I'll ink that up. And I'll put one over on this side. And I'm thinking I probably could have gone a little bit further over, but no matter. All right, so we have our stems, and they look kind of ugly right now, but by the time we get them colored in, they should be fine. I'm going to start with So Saffron blends, and I'm going to use the dark and do half of this. The dark will be our shading, and I'll do underneath the leaf. And then go down our leaf as such. Then I'll go back over with my light and kind of do the other side. And we're kind of going over both, so it doesn't matter because this is the lighter one. Then I'm going to use, I was going to use Granny Apple Green, but I'm going to use Old Olive. I'm a big Old Olive fan. And we'll color this leaf here and up. I'm going to go underneath the leaf again for our shading. Just on 1/2 of it. And I'll go underneath here. And if you don't like how it comes out, I guess that one there. We're going to be putting flowers on top of it, so it's, if you've got an area that you don't like the way it overlapped, you just use your flowers to cover it. That's the great thing about using nature cards. It's fun to correct the errors. And as you see, once you get it colored in, you kind of get a little more of the definition. Again, we'll go over with the, I'm going to use the lighter side of the Old Olive. Let's see. Sometimes it's kind of fun, kind of hard to see the parts in the middle, but like I said, we're going to cover it with flowers, so it's not a big deal. There we go. Let's see, I think we got most of it there. Okay, so we have our flowers there. And our vase, I think, I already stamped the vase on Whisper White and then hand cut it, because of course there's no punch to go with this one. And I'm going to use the cinnamon cider, and I'm going to color. I'm going to, wherever you see these shade lines here, I'm going to use the darker color of the cider, cinnamon cider, and then I'm going to go over it with the light cinnamon cider. So we'll take them, because I'm going to use the wider side. It'll take a little bit quicker to color it. And we'll blend in our dark a bit. And because it's already cut out, it's easy to see where I need to go over. Where I didn't cut it out quite perfectly, but that's all right. And then we got our vase. And I'm going to use pop-ups to put that on. We're going to line that up here. And I think because it's kind of off to the right, we will put our words, which is going to be just thinking of you. And I'm going to stamp that in Highland Heather. And instead of on my red card where I did it on the right side of the card, I do have to put my label on this one. I'm going to put it over on this side, and it's going to fit in just perfectly in this little neck of the bottle side here. Voila, just like that. I'm going to leave that out because we're going to use that in a minute. But in the meantime, I think I'm going to put my vase on. Let me use a little one up at the neck here. Such, and I have a little mark there, but that's all right because we're going to cover that. I'm going to show you how to cover that. It end up straight here. There we go. The vase on just like that. And that looks pretty just the way it is without even adding any flowers to it. And I think what we'll do is attach this. Here's some combo. Right on our Highland Heather. And I'm going to take this piece here, and I'm going to put this up kind of in the corner here. Try and give it a little even along the edges, and then this one will overlap on here. Let's see what it is. Of course, this paper on the back side would be nice too, but this is retired Designer Series 6x6 paper from last year. It retired. They seem to change up the designs every year, which makes it impossible for me to keep up with. I'm going to just put this on here again, like this. Okay, and now we're going to have to get our flowers. So I'm going to take there's a couple different ways to do the flowers. I'm going to do it on using the Highland Heather ink right on the cardstock. As such. And then I'll take my little punch here. Punch out my little flowers. As such. And then we'll put these on our card. And I'm going to use dimensionals on these too. And I'll use the larger ones because it fits on there. Now I've got some spots in there, so I kind of want to have one here. I could do it down low, I guess. Let's see where we want to put them so that they line up pretty well. If I put one like this. It's flower arranging on paper. Just like that. Covers over that one spot I wasn't as crazy about, but and then we'll put this one up here. Okay. Close up our ink so I don't put my finger in it. Because we all know that's never happened to any of us. We'll put this on here. And then we'll do our finishing touches with some enamel dots. But I want to show you some couple of couple other options as well. I have some candy dots here. Or these might have been metallic elements, actually. And I have some yellow ones that I'm going to put on, only because I want to use them up. But other options are, we have these pastel pearls, which are in the new catalog, as well as in the current occasions catalog. So I could use that and put some pearls in the middle or around the outside. Or what I could do is take the opal rounds, and as you can see, I colored one with Granny Apple Green, which I'm not going to use for this card because I used Old Olive. And I colored a Highland Heather one using the blends. So hopefully you can see that. So I can use those as external decorations. But like I said, I'm not going to use those because I'm trying to use up some of these that I have tons of. And I think I'll use, got 3 large ones left, so I'm going to use up those 3 large ones. Whoops. Stuck to my fingernail. I'm just going to put that one there. But it would be fun to use the blends and color the opals as well, because those would actually look like water dots. And then I'm going to use some of the olive, and because I've got a spot right here on the paper, I'm going to cover that one up. And then I'm going to take some and kind of just put them around my card. And there we have it. Just thinking of you. Nice simple card. Let me show you a couple other things that I did with this set. Here's one I started with, and then I just kind of deviated it for this other card. Used the Misty Moonlight designer paper that's retiring and colored in with the Misty Moonlight, and then used the gems, the in color enamel dots that are retiring. I used the Misty Moonlight blue ones to put around it. Then I also did one here with the flower pot, and I love this one. I'd have to mask these, but you could mask it. Again, using designer series paper that's retiring, and some ribbon, some Just Jade ribbon that's retiring, some more of the enamel dots that are retiring. And then I did this one here using the basket. And this one I copied from someone online. Use the thanks that is from the Well Said dies. And this is, of course, is retiring. And again, I used some more. These aren't enamel dots. These are candy dots, I think, that I have in my stock. So I use that for the centers. I hand cut all the leaves, but I used the punch for the flowers. Just a strip of using the buffalo check. The buffalo check stamp set is also retiring. So there you have it. A couple different designs using the Basket of Blooms stamp set. And there you have it. I hope you enjoy this. Take care. Have a good weekend.